What's up, everybody? Why do people hate Californians? On this video, we're going to talk about that in case you're a Californian and you want to know what are we doing wrong. Not like you guys like to listen to anybody other than yourselves, but in this video, in case you care to know, I'm going to tell you why people, for example, in Texas, pretty much had it with you. All right, so purpose of this video is not only to tell you why they hate you, but also to help you so that if you're a Californian, that you're not a Californian. So let's get into that. Imagine if you had a guest come over to your house, let's say your mother-in-law, right? Somebody you already don't like. And
Hey.
yeah, like your mother-in-law, somebody you don't like already. You're having her over. You really don't want her there, but you kind of have to have her there because there's a spare bedroom in your house and somebody's got to live in it. And your wife's making you. So here you have your mother-in-law who you care a little about, but she's there. And she's staying in your spare bedroom, and you're going to, hopefully she's just, whatever. So you wake up in the middle of the night to pee, and you realize that she decided to rearrange your furniture. How would that make you feel? You probably wouldn't like it very much. So let's go through this process. You're leaving where you live now and you're moving to Alabama. Let's say Alabama. Unfortunately for us here, somebody pulls into our street. Now, this is a dead-end street. You can't just drive into our street because there's only 5 properties here. It means there's 5 homeowners, and we all are loaded to the gills. If you come into our street, we're probably going to pull a piece on you and say, why are you here? You don't belong here. They have California license plates. We're outside and we all wave at this person. This person doesn't wave at us. So we notice they have California license plates and we say, oh, they're from California. They're probably looking at real estate. Maybe we should see if they have any questions. So on the way back, we try to wave them down. They almost ran us over and then they sped off. That we're trying to help you. Where we should have done is pull out our pieces, and my neighbor, which was with me, he said something along the lines of, look at these people, I don't want their here, probably gonna next time they come around. So that's not what I said, that's what my neighbor said. So here we are being friendly, we're waving at you, and we're being friendly, we're trying to be helpful, and you think that we're trying to rob you, or you think we're trying to you thought we were trying to box you in or whatever. We're trying to help you, and you're so you think everybody's out to get you. Now, I'm not coming from a place as crappy as California. I lock my doors. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody anywhere. Now, that's part of where I'm coming from, and it's still part of who I am today. I'm blocking the road. I'm in my work truck, and I'm blocking the road, and somebody's honking the horn at me. I thought they were telling me to get the crap out of the way, so I got out of the way, and I drive off. Now this person's following me. So in my mind, now they're trying to fight me. So they get out of the car, I'm thinking this person's going to fight me. Okay, so in my mind, I'm already ready to confront this person because I'm from New York or California or even Florida like myself. The person wanted my business card. They were actually following me from before that because they saw my truck, liked my service, and they wanted me to work for them. So in my mind, this person was out to get me. They're just trying to help. And a lot of times, you think your realtor's trying to scam you, your contractor's trying to scam you, everybody's out to get you. And to be honest, if I look back on my situation, when I first moved to Alabama, there were a few people that were out to get me, but it wasn't everyone. And that's where you have to learn how to be tactful, yet respectful at the same time, because you're going to encounter people who are genuinely trying to help you, and you're going to think they're out to get you, and you're going to treat them in a wrong way. So eventually on this channel, I'll do a course on etiquette and Southern hospitality. I already did a video on Southern hospitality. I'll do another one that's more in depth. But what you're going to have to understand is that not everybody, you move to a decent place, okay? Now that you're in a decent place, The only indecent person here is you. So now you're the one, you, Katie, you're the one who has to make adjustments now because now you're the indecent person. You left an indecent place and you came to a place where people are decent. So now you're the one who's indecent. You're the one, you might think because you have a little bit of money that you're better than everybody else. You might think that these people are a bunch of hillbilly hicks and you're better than them. And, here's what you don't understand. That person driving that 88 Toyota, wearing dirty clothes, he might have 10 times more money than you, and you don't even know it. Because he was raised to not show what he has. See, a lot of people in these states here that are more conservative, real conservatives, because a California conservative is an Alabama liberal, if you didn't know that. So you think, I'm wearing a red shirt over here. Yeah, but if you come over here, this red shirt's really a very blue shirt because the standards are different where you're at now. So if you think you're red over here, you might just be a very blue person over here. So you might think that the way you are is a certain way, but you're not. So these people down here, they were brought up not to show their wealth. So you might think because you're driving in a car that you have a car payment on, that you're balling, or you're buying a house cash. Your house is on 1 acre. The farmer's got 100 acres. And he may not need a loan for it. And so what you don't understand is that you might be seeing somebody that to you is insignificant. To you, this is just a dirty, poor farmer. But they were raised up not to show what they had because their real conservative values, they were taught not to show that. And that goes back to where I'm from in Cuba. Where in Cuba, you might go to a place, you might see a farmer, and he looks like he's dirt poor, and he might just be the most loaded person ever. You would never know. So that's not just an American thing, it's all over the world. Poor people in rural areas, apparently poor people in rural areas, right, appear to be poor because of how they live. They may actually be more loaded than you because the car you bought is actually made here in Alabama. The clothes you wear, the cotton came from Alabama. The land you're on is theirs from generation to generation. The food you eat was grown by a farmer somewhere. Everything that you get comes from them. That money trickles back to the farmer, to the people that own the land. There's a lot of money. And they also deal in cash money. So you might look at some statistics and say, okay, well, this little county over here that I moved to, they're only making $20,000 a year. They're poor. I make $80,000 a year. I make 4 times more money than them. But what you don't know is that they only deal with cash money. And they've only dealt with cash money for since before you guys were complaining about the British over there and the Tea Party thing over there. That didn't happen in the South. That happened over there. The reason it happened over there because generationally you guys have been paying taxes, and over here generationally they've been dealing with cash money. So there may be a whole lot more money in your little rural county than you could imagine, but you don't know that because they're not trying to show that off. 1, because they don't want IRS to get curious about it. 2, because it's a religion in a sense, and 3, because it's the culture and the way they are. So you might think you're dealing with some stupid poor farmer. He may actually have 10 times more money than you do, and you don't even know it. So you might move into a place and you might think there may actually be exterior things. But oh, they're doing that, they're poor. They're doing this, they're poor. They drive that, and they're poor. You may not even notice how much money people have because you're from a place where people borrow money to look like they're rich. Here, people borrow time to make it look like they're poor. So they're doing the complete opposite. You're from a place where people are borrowing and getting the debt to look like they're wealthy when they're actually starving. These people are from a place where they might have millions of dollars and they're over here driving around in an 88 Toyota. So don't assume that you're better than these people because you feel like you have more education. Let me show you some freaking books. And these aren't cheap books. And I take books back to Florida. I have antique stores that buy books. Let me just show you some of the books that I have found. I don't buy books. Let me just show you some of the books that I have found in Alabama since I've been here. And I could probably fill up 2 pickup trucks with books. This one's called Endless Income. This one's called Alabama Criminal Sentencing for Offenders Registration. Alabama Civil Practice Forms. Child Welfare Laws of Alabama. Essentials of Business Law. The Bar Review. There's another bar review. Some of these books are actually worth hundreds of dollars on the internet. If they really were stupid, you would be able to make money off of them. Try making money off these people and see how good they are at it. It's real easy to make money off city people. Crap, they'll borrow money they don't have to give you money they don't have that's not even theirs to pay back later. These people aren't stupid. They own their houses outright. They inherit the land. They don't have to buy it. They're not really all that dumb. If you think they're dumb, then if you think that these Southern people are stupid, then you've already been fooled by them because they're not. See, just by you thinking that they're stupid, they've already outsmarted you. Okay, so these are Bibles. I would call it literature. More literature. These aren't cheap books either. A couple more Bibles. More Bibles and more literature. A friggin' New York license plate. I found this book here in Alabama. It's about bass fishing. It's worth about $120 on the internet. Here's some more books that I found in Alabama. And here's some more books. And yet here's some more books. And then there's these books. And underneath my ammunition, there's even more books. That right there, this is what Texas is proud of. They got a cowboy, they got an oil field, and they got their space shuttle. But see, that space shuttle, it's in Huntsville, Alabama now. It's no longer in Texas. Texas is not very happy at Alabama right now. Apply for your new license plate, and you're now part of a new state, maybe Texas or whatever state you're about to ruin. I'm giving you a heads up. Where I was in Florida, coming to Alabama was a transformation for me. So the information that I'm giving you now is insight that I had to learn the hard way. I'm helping you skip 50 steps so that you have the information that I didn't have. And the main problem that you have is that the place that you're coming from, it's like, let's say your whole entire life you wanted to be a project manager, okay? You were taught how to organize people, how to, whatever. You were taught, you went to business class, you went to a business school. Your whole life, you were taught to be a manager. You were going to be in charge of other people. You're like a project manager. You went to college your whole entire career since you were like in kindergarten all the way to adulthood. You were taught that you were going to be a project manager. And your first day on the job, you're at a drive-thru at McDonald's and you're wondering, what am I doing here? This is not what I was supposed to do. And now somebody else, who to you is an illiterate, is giving you orders. Well, you may not understand why you're there, and you might feel that you're beyond or better than those people in your surrounding. What you don't know is that you're in that drive-thru so that you can learn what you're going to be designing. The software, the application of what the company hired you for. They start you there so you can have an idea of what you're going to be doing and how it functions. But now you're so stubborn that you don't go through that elementary stage because you feel that because you have all this other background that you're beyond that, you're above that. You're really not. And that's going to be a hard step that, again, I went through it moving to Alabama, and you're going to have to go through it moving wherever you're moving to. You're going to have to, you're literally brainwashed to think that this is what you were supposed to do. And all the things that you learn in your state are going to make you be good at business. They're going to make you be good at 1,000 things. And they're going to make you stand out, be outstanding compared to some of the other people in the place you're moving to because you have other talents and other visions. You're not narrow-minded about a place. You see beyond that. So in some ways, you're going to have advantages over the locals. But in other ways, you're a complete moron who is out of place and who needs to have a lot of humility and kind of absorb new things. I've met people here in Alabama who've traveled the world more than I have, a lot more than I have, who have done more city things than I would ever venture to do being from the city. So don't assume that when you meet somebody wearing a straw hat and some cowboy boots or whatever, that they're a complete illiterate person who hasn't done anything. They may have done more than you because, again, they have acquired money that you can't see. And they may have experienced things that you haven't experienced yourself. And they actually may be kind of more avid in city things than you are, and you won't even know that. When I first moved here, for example, I had one person who told me, you should burn that. I was taking loads of landscaping debris to the landfill. And somebody was like, yo, you should totally burn that instead of taking it to the landfill. I was like, no, you're crazy. I go to the landfill, and the people at the landfill are like, yo, you should totally burn that. Like, I'm not burning garbage. I'm from Naples, Florida. Burning garbage? Ugh, I would never do that. And then I was like, somebody else was finally like, you need to burn that. I was like, no, I'm not going to burn that. That's backwards. I'm not going to burn garbage. And then the person like literally struck a lighter they had in their pocket, threw it on there, and the whole thing went in the blaze. So this person's now burning my garbage on my front lawn. And 10 minutes later, the whole thing's gone, and I didn't have to take it to landfill. And here there was clues all along of what I needed to be doing because everybody was like, yo, 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 yo. They were all trying to tell me what I needed to do, but I was too stupid and stubborn to listen. Now, I was like, okay, I'm burning garbage. I'm only going to burn trees. I'm never going to burn furniture. And then one day I was like, I'm going to burn the furniture. And then I said, I'll burn furniture, but I'll never burn plastic. That's totally backwards. And one day I was sitting out there. I mean, it's kind of not, just like, I wonder what burning plastic smells like. And I know what it smells like because my neighbors burn it. And I was like, I want to see how, and now I burn plastic. EPA can't be happy about that. Now, I have one of those green garbage cans from Waste Management, and I pay for that service. Where I used to live, it was included in my property taxes. Here, it's an optional thing. I optionally have a garbage can. Some of my neighbors burn everything from their household in their front yard. That is too much for me. I grew up in a city. I'm not going to burn my own garbage. I'm going to pay Waste Management to haul it away. It's only $200 a year. It's not a lot of money. To some of my neighbors, that $200 a year may seem like a fortune. So now these fancy people from Florida, they're paying Waste Management to haul their garbage away. That's $200 a year. But see, that's the thing you don't get. That's $200 a year for 20 years. That's $4,000 extra that they have sitting in their savings account that you don't. I'm still going to pay for a Waste Management garbage can. There's no way I'm going to be burning diapers and tampons in my front yard. But some people here actually do that. Moral of the story is that in some ways you're going to have to make adjustments. Are you going to change and become a completely different person? Probably not. But you're going to have to make adjustments. And you're going to have to be flexible to those adjustments. Some of the things that you may at first see as repulsive, eventually you're going to partake in those things to a large degree. Okay. So, Katie's from Michigan. And they have a sports team that they designate her to be a fan of, and they call them New York Yankees. Now, I had never called her a New York Yankee in Florida. I didn't know she liked the New York Yankees, but when we moved to Alabama, I found out my wife was an avid New York Yankees fan. And she likes to wear this New York Yankees hat quite often. Now, I'll tell her, hey, Katie, you're wearing your New York Yankees hat. And she's like, no, I'm not. And I say, yeah, I noticed you're wearing it. everybody here notices you're wearing it, but she doesn't know that she's wearing this New York Yankee hat. It's the weirdest thing how, like, everybody around her will be like, oh, she's a New York Yankees fan. She's wearing a giant New York Yankees, the whole outfit, head to toe, socks and everything, you know, white pants with the blue stripes down there. And we're all like, wow, she's wearing a New York Yankees hat. She's totally a New York Yankees fan. And she'll be like, no, I'm just wearing this black and white dress. And we'll be like, no, you're wearing the whole outfit. And, well, a lot of times you're going to be a 49ers fan and you won't even realize it. I can make this video like an hour and a half long, but the last thing I want to touch on is that people may not talk the same way you do. For example, my illustration about New York Yankees, if you missed that, is that Katie's a Yankee. And to everybody around her, she'll do things that are very Yankee-like. So you're not going to be able to hide the fact you're a Californian. But you can dress, like when I first moved to Alabama, I thought if I wore camo, it was just about a bunch of camo and I'll be all right. I'm like, you're not going to be able to dress a certain way, and people are, you're a Californian, you're whatever the crap you are, it's obvious. Like, they know that. Like, you could be from the next town over and they'll know the difference. You're from like another planet, okay? You know, like if there's a bunch of zebras and all of a sudden like a gazebo, is that an animal? That's not an animal. A gazelle?
A gazebo is like a shed.
Yeah, like if there's a bunch of zebras hanging out and all of a sudden a gazebo shows up, that's kind of like a little goat, right?
What?
You know, a gazebo. It's like a little. It hops.
Gazebo
it's like an impala. You know, like the impala. I want to be a ball now. Shot. You know, like there's gazebos and then there's impalas.
Jose.
And there's gazettes too. That's like a goat with horns on it. Well, anyway, so if there are a bunch of zebras there hanging out and a gazebo shows up, they're gonna be like, "Yo, that's a gazebo. That's not really a zebra." So you're not gonna be able to like confuse people. Like, you stand out. You could paint a gazebo black and white. There's still like stripes or whatever, and they're still gonna know you're not a zebra because you're not the right shape, even though you're the right color. So don't think you're gonna fool people. What are you laughing at?
The fact that you think a gazebo is an animal.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little gazette. Gazelle.
It's like a shed deck.
I don't care how they shed their hair, Katie. Look, I'm doing a video right now. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to fool people, okay? Just be whoever you are, and they'll know you're whoever you are because you're, in Katie's case, we're wearing that hat even though you're not aware you're wearing it. They're going to know who you are. Be who you are, but be aware that you have to make some adjustments, and you'll be all right.